Hey Dad, so I promised you a tour. Hi there. I promised you a tour of the tank and how it works. This is what's called a refugium. Basically, the water is draining from the top of the tank into that sock. It goes into this first chamber right here, this piece, and some of it gets sucked up into this. It's called a skimmer, but it's blowing bubbles, and it takes things that are dissolved in liquid and it bubbles them up to the top and they pour over. And then, so it's just bubbles and poop, basically. So I made this little thing that comes out here and becomes a great big waste area for that stuff. It goes through a filter and then some carbon and then lands in here. Now if it ever got too full, it'd go right over the top through this hole and back into the drain. So the next step is it goes through a panel that's right there into this area, or this chamber, and in here we have what's called chaeto. It's a green algae, and there's a bunch of little bugs in there too that the fish feed off of, and basically that eats nitrates, which is bad for the fish. And then the next chamber rolls over the top and into that small filter right there, and then through here into the pump area. So the pump I've got kind of hanging off of the top of it right here, and the pump pumps it all right back up into the top. I don't know if you can see that, but it goes right up into the top. And it pumps through these things. These things fill up and then overflow into that thing, which in turn takes it back down here and starts all over. So, pretty cool. Now I designed this thing too. Made this out of some hardware store stuff. Basically there's 4 outlets on the back and switches on the top. And then this is what they call a dosing system. Those are 3 little pumps that are timed by this timer, and it pumps this stuff out of these bottles. One's calcium, one's alkaline, and the other one's magnesium. And then finally, this is what's called a top-off system. There's a little eye that looks back in there, and if the water gets low, it turns on a pump, which is over here in this bottle, and it puts RO water back into the tank. So that's kind of it. Part 2 coming up.